Hi everyone, McFarlane here, bringing you another action figure video. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you guys a action figure collection that I've not really shown much of in my previous YouTube videos, and I thought it'd be nice to dedicate a whole video to it. And this is my Halo collection. Now this is a collection which started towards the end of 2011. It mostly consists of figures from the McFarlane Toys line, but there are some of the Mattel figures in there as well, and some other things which I'll show you in detail later on in the video. Now this collection began towards the end of 2011 with the first figure being the Arbiter from the Halo Anniversary figure line, and this was the very first McFarlane Toys Halo figure I had ever seen in my local retail. I was very well aware of the McFarlane Toys Halo figures from YouTube and other websites, but this was the first one I'd ever seen in stores. And from then on I gradually started to find the McFarlane Halo figures in more stores in my local retail like TK Maxx, Toys R Us and The Entertainer, and from then on the collection gradually started to grow. Most of the figures came from my local retail, so the stores I just mentioned, but every now and then I did get one from websites like Amazon as well if I just simply couldn't find it in retail, or if it was one of the old rare ones which I didn't think I'd be able to find in retail, because a lot of the Halo figures I got were from lines that had already been out for quite a while, like the Halo Anniversary line, and these are figures which I just found out of the blue. They weren't figures or sets that were absolutely everywhere that sold Halo figures. I always made the most of the chance to get them while I could. Now this particular shelf has got the vast majority of my Halo action figures. It doesn't have every single last one of them. A lot of the Mega Bloks figures are still waiting to be put on the shelf, and some of my McFarlane Toys Halo figures are currently missing. I'm not exactly sure where they are. I know I have a rough idea, but I didn't put them in the same box as a lot of the other Halo figures which are on this shelf, so unfortunately I haven't been able to add them to this shelf yet. But to be honest, I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to add any more to this shelf, because it's already a very crowded shelf going almost from the back right to the front, and there's only very small gaps left on this shelf now, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fit my McFarlane Halo Reach Ghost or my Promethean Knight from Halo 4 onto this one. I may actually move these figures onto a taller shelf where there's a bigger gap between the top and the bottom, because that's not something I really thought of when I was putting these figures on the shelf. But for some of the bigger figures like the Hunter and the Promethean Knight, I think I am going to need a bigger shelf. So starting from the very far left at the back, we have my Halo Wars figures, including Sergeant Forge and Spirit Fire Red Team. Now I do have all three members of Red Team, but the leg on one of the Spartans, which I think is Spartan Jerome, broke off quite a while ago and I just need to fix it. Then next to that I have my members of Noble Team, which is sadly a very small part of my collection. I never actually got round to completing my Noble Team, and the figures of the other characters in Noble Team are very hard to get these days. Even online it seems to be quite hard to find figures of them with the helmets on. The figures of them without the helmets seem to be quite easy to get, but the ones with the full helmet are quite hard to find. So I may still be able to complete Noble Team, but perhaps not with the figures of them with the helmets, because they never did swappable heads with the helmet and the unmasked head. It was always a variant where you'd basically get the same figure but with either the head or the helmet. So yeah. Then next to that we have my variants of Master Chief from the package, the Halo Legends animated episode, Combat Evolved or Combat Evolved Anniversary. I think this one is based on the original Combat Evolved Master Chief, judging by how polygonal it looks, but this came out around the time of the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary game back in 2011. Then we have the good old Halo 2 and Halo 3 Master Chiefs figures, which are by far my favourite figures of Master Chief. We also have some of my figures from Halo 3 ODST, not all that many, just a couple. I've got Buck and Dutch with a rocket launcher as well. Then in front of them I have my Halo Reach Spartan figure with the scout helmet and the red mongoose. This, although it's a multiplayer Spartan and not a major character from the campaign, this is easily one of my favourite additions to this collection. I really like the mongoose that this figure comes with, and the figure is pretty good as well, especially with all the little swappable armour parts. I might do a review of it at some point. And then in front of these figures I also have the Micro Ops Banshee, which is another McFarlane Toys Halo figure, and this one comes with a couple of elites from Halo 4. And then I also have a couple of my Mega Bloks Halo figures, which are from Mattel. There's the Security Spartan figure from Halo 3, and this was from one of the series which came out I think in 2012 or 2013, and this was the ultra rare figure, or a ultra rare figure in this assortment. But it was still a relatively easy figure to get because it came out as part of some other Mega Bloks sets which weren't rare. You could just find them pretty much anywhere that sold Mega Bloks Halo figures. So for a ultra rare figure, this figure wasn't really all that rare at all. And then on the other side with the Covenant, I've got a Flood Combat form from Halo 3. And most of the other figures that I have in my small Mega Bloks Halo collection are Marines, which I think were from the same series as the Security Spartan figure. I always bought them in the hope of getting some Spartans and Covenant, but I pretty much almost always got Marines, and that's partly why I gave up with buying the Mega Bloks Halo figure mini packs. I might still get them at some point in the future, but it just got to the point where it was so frustrating. I thought, I'm not going to waste any more effort on trying to get these characters, so I just stopped completely. And then standing guard towards the front left of the shelf, if you can even see it, I have my Active Camouflage Noble 6 figure, which is part of a 2-pack with the other Noble 6 figure without Active Camouflage at the back. Then moving back towards the middle, we have Master Chief and the Arbiter from Halo 3, and then behind that we have Spartan Locke from Halo 5. Then towards the back we have some of my Mattel Halo figures, well, the only Mattel Halo action figures I have at the moment. So we have Master Chief from Halo 4 and 5, Spartan Linda, which was never given the McFarlane Toys treatments, that was one I picked up very quickly when I had the chance, and the Spartan Helios Squirrel figure, which is based on one of the multiplayer Spartan figures. And then towards the right hand side of the shelf I have a side which is dedicated mostly to the Covenant from various Halo games, and I also have some of my other multiplayer Spartan figures which I wasn't able to fit on the side with the other Spartan figures. So I have 2 elites from Halo 4, the Elite Zealot and the Elite Ranger, both of which absolutely tower over the Arbiter figure. I never actually realised until I got these elite figures together with the Arbiter figure just how big they are. I don't think these particular elites are this much taller than the Arbiter and the original elites in the games, but these figures are absolutely massive compared to the original trilogy Halo elites. And to be honest, I do prefer the design of the classic elites from the original trilogy and the prequel games, but I still really like these ones as well, and they are pretty cool figures too. Then near them I have a Jackal from Halo 4. Sadly I lost the Covenant Carbine, so I've got him standing on his display stand in a pose where if you shoot them in the game and they lose their weapon, they sort of put their hands over their head and run frantically. And then towards the back there I have the Brute Chieftain from Halo Reach, which is by far my favourite Covenant figure in this collection. It's easily one of the heaviest action figures I have as well, even though it's a 6-inch scale figure, or a 5-inch scale figure, sorry. And plus he comes with some really cool accessories like the big grabby hammer as well, which I never got with any of the other Halo figures. And then in front of him I do have a Grunt Major from Halo 3 I think, but he is just about hidden by a couple of the multiplayer Spartans from Halo 3. So one of them is the yellow Spartan EVA with the Mongoose, which was from the very original Halo 3 figure line, although this one came out, or at least I found this one back in 2012 I think, quite a long time after the Halo 3 line was discontinued I think. And then next to that I have one of my favourites in this collection, which is the blue Spartan Recon figure, also from Halo 3, and this is part of the second assortment of the Halo Anniversary figure line, which I don't think I ever found in stores. I only ever saw this one online, and I think this was quite a rare figure as well because I paid quite a bit more than I normally would for a Halo action figure for this one, but it was a rare figure so I didn't really mind dipping out a little bit more for this one. Like with my other action figure collections, I also have quite a few mint on card figures as part of this collection. Generally for me, mint on card figures are quite rare, or old figures that I don't really want to get out of the packaging and risk breaking because of how hard to find they are. There are definitely some figures as part of this particular part of my collection where If I was to take them out and break them by accident and I want to get a new one, it would take me months, if not years. I'm pretty sure of that. So a lot of these figures are ones that I've just decided to keep in their packaging because I just want to keep them in the best condition possible. But I also just like to have a few figures in their packaging for nostalgia's sake as well, because I'm one of those collectors that likes to have some loose figures and some packaged figures as well. So the first figure in this collection is another one of the Halo Anniversary Spartan Mark 6 figures from Halo 2. This was actually quite an easy figure to find back when it was in stores. I was finding this one pretty much everywhere that had the Halo Anniversary line in, but I got this one to keep in box just for a bit of nostalgia's sake really, because I love the Mark 6 design and I quite like the colour scheme of this particular one as well. Next up, we have one of the rarest Halo figures out there, and this is the Halo 3 Hunter from McFarlane Toys. This was the only Hunter figure McFarlane ever released, even though they did figures from pretty much all the Halo games up until Halo 5. This was the one and only Hunter figure we ever got, and it's one which a lot of collectors are still after to this day. This was one that I wanted ever since I first saw pictures of it a few years back. And fortunately last year I was able to get this one mint in box for quite a nice price. And it stands at around 9 inches tall, so it's nearly twice the height of your average Spartan or Marine figure, and it's just absolutely awesome. Then next up we have some more figures from the Covenant, including a Halo 3 Jackal figure. This was a figure I never actually saw in the stores because I wasn't actually collecting Halo figures at the time, so I just thought this was a nice addition to my collection. And I don't actually have all that many Jackals either. The only other Jackal I have is the one from Halo 4. Then next up we have another Covenant figure from Halo 3, and this is the Brute Bodyguard. This is actually the only Brute figure I have aside from the Brute Chieftain from Halo Reach, but I am thinking about taking this figure out of its packaging soon because I would like to get some more Covenant figures on my shelf as well, seeing as my Covenant figures are vastly outnumbered by my Spartan and human character figures from the games. Up next we have the Elite Zealot from Halo Reach. Now, the Elite figures from Halo Reach are becoming increasingly hard to find and very highly sought after by collectors. If you want to get every single rank of Elite from Halo Reach in action figure form, good luck with that, is all I'm saying. The prices that they go for now are much more than their original RRP from when they were in stores a few years back. So if you are thinking about getting some Elites from Reach, definitely make the most of the chance to get them now while you can. And then up next we have a couple more Spartan variants, the first one being the Master Chief with Cloak figure, which is based on his appearance in the very first teaser trailer for Halo 5, which came out at E3 back in 2014. Quite an interesting figure, this one, because we've never actually seen Master Chief like this in anything aside from this particular trailer for Halo 5. We never ever saw him like this in the Halo 5 campaign. And like a lot of other fans of Halo out there, I'm thinking that that particular trailer for Halo 5 may have actually been for the events taking place immediately after Halo 5, or perhaps between Halo 5 and Halo 6. So we may see Master Chief like this at some point in the near future of Halo, but it could mean that this trailer is completely non-canon and we'll never actually see Master Chief like this in any other Halo media again. Who knows? And next we have the Halo 5 Spartan Technician figure, which is a repaint of the Holly Tanaka figure, I believe. Now, this was one of a few exclusive Spartan variants released around the launch of Halo 5. I'm not sure if this was exclusive to any particular store here in the UK. I got this one from Amazon, but I think in the United States this one was a GameStop exclusive. And then finally we have one of the more recent additions to my Halo collection, and this is the Hot Wheels Halo series. Now, I grew up with loads of Hot Wheels cars, so when I saw that Mattel were doing a Halo Hot Wheels series, I was just absolutely mad for it and I wanted to get it straight away. But it wasn't until recently that I managed to find these particular vehicles. They've been much harder to find than any other Hot Wheels assortment I've been after in the past. So this particular series has a few vehicles from the UNSC, including a Warthog, a Gun Goose, a Scorpion, and all of these come from Halo 5, I believe. And then you also get a couple of vehicles from the Covenant and the Banished. You get Ghost and a Banished Wraith from Halo Wars 2, and that is my personal favourite out of this assortment. Would definitely recommend these to you if you've not got them already. They are just absolutely fantastic representations of the vehicles as seen in Halo 5 and Halo Wars 2. They are quite small and they aren't exactly in scale with each other. The Gun Goose is almost exactly the same size as the Scorpion, and in the games, as you probably know, the Gun Gooses are only absolutely tiny vehicles. So even though they may not be in scale, I still absolutely love these things, and I would love to see some more Hot Wheels Halo vehicles in the future, especially some from the older games like the original trilogy, Halo Reach. There's quite a few vehicles from the older games I'd love to get. Maybe a Revenant from Halo Reach. I can imagine a lot of people going after that one. Maybe some more Warthog variants as well, like the rocket turret ones or the Gorse Hog as well. And then bringing this video to an end, we have something which isn't quite an action figure, but I thought it was worth showing as part of this video anyway. And this is the Halo 5 Limited Collector's Edition Master Chief and Spartan Locke statue, which is currently the only Halo statue I own. This comes with a helmet for Spartan Locke, as well as a alternative unmasked head, which wasn't something many people seem to know about when this particular statue was released. It's actually hidden as part of a tiny panel on the back of the statue, and the head is actually kept in a little black bag. And I remember seeing lots of reviews of this statue when it first came out as part of the Halo 5 Limited Collector's Edition, and there were loads of people that didn't realise that at the back of the statue, in this tiny little plastic panel, there was this alternative head accessory featuring the likeness of Mike Coulter, who has played Spartan Locke throughout the Halo games, Halo Nightfall, and also Luke Cage in the Marvel Netflix shows as well. And so that is pretty much it for my Halo action figure collection video. As I said earlier on, there are still lots of figures out there that I need to get out and put on display, so when that eventually happens, I'll aim to provide you with an update video as soon as possible. Hope you've all enjoyed watching this video. If you want to share your thoughts on this collection, you can do so in the comment section below. I may do some more Halo action figure reviews in the near future. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you again soon.